Hi, I'm Nicolas Franco. Most of you already know me. I will try to talk in 30 minutes how to use Hugging Face, that is extremely powerful tool that we have for artificial intelligence. So, because I only have 30 minutes perhaps, it's not too much, but I think it's enough to show you really what I want to show you. So I will try to go not too fast, but fast enough that you understand, right? Okay. Who I am from Madrid, from Spain. I'm PhD in physics. I am actually assistant professor at the Polytechnic University in Madrid and another university that is named EA. I was assistant professor at Berkeley, and I'm partner at Bitwalk, Mr. Houston. Bitwalk is the division of FileMaker in a bigger company that is named Mr. Houston. I'm more than 25 years working with Claris FileMaker, so I am not a newbie. And the whole company has more than 50 employees, but in the FileMaker side in Bitwalk, we are more or less between, depends of the time. Now we are 14, and we have 3 other guys working in Mexico. So this is the first of all, before starting. Yes. There's a big problem about artificial intelligence that everybody is talking. And I found this sentence that probably you already know, that is artificial intelligence, teenager sex. Everybody talks about it. Nobody really knows how to do it. Everybody thinks everybody else is doing it, so everybody claims they are doing it. And this is what really happened today. I mean, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, and it's really a big, extremely big field. So perhaps we are talking in FileMaker about more Gen AI, I mean generative artificial intelligence, not about machine language models or whatever. So I'm going to show you really how to work with one part of it. And this part is how to work with LLMs, and LLMs are something that I want to show you also what it is, because most time you have to understand, not deeply, but at least a little bit, what is an LLM, right? So my talk was about Hugging Face, but what I say is better before starting. I will try to show you in 5 minutes what is really an LLM, because without knowing really what is an LLM, you will not take advantage of Hugging Face. And in 5 minutes, something that is very, let's say, not difficult, but I will try. Okay, this is an LLM. I mean, an LLM is a large language model that is made by deep learning system. Deep learning is those neural networks that have very deep layers, and those layers are very specific of what you want to try. Why I put this? I put this because in any of those layers you have parameters. And those parameters you have to train it. And at the end is the number of those parameters that makes really the result better or not better most of the time. So you have first to train those parameters. You put a lot of layers. What is important, you know, those LLMs, that is this deep learning systems, what is incredible is that nobody understands how it works. Nobody. No, it's true. I mean, machine learning models, the people understand why there is a result. Those that have so many layers and so many decisions to look at, is billions of decisions that you cannot really understand why they take one path or another. But what happens is that at the end, the result is magnificent. But we don't know. It's like the brain. It's the same things that we have in the brain. It works exactly the same. We don't understand how the brain works, but we know that the results are good. And this is a big problem. And at the end, it's a big problem because having like a black box, I mean, you don't know how it's working, but you know that the results are good. Sometimes you don't trust it. But at the end, I mean, we are on with this world that sometimes you trust, you don't trust, and you don't know why. So at the end, what is important about this is that you have to adjust those parameters. So you train your layer, your multi-layer. There, I say, depending on what you want also to work on, there's a different kind of architecture here in the high-end layers. So if you want to, let's say, pictures is the different that if you want to train with voice, is different that you want to train with language, whatever. But those models, at the end, what is important that they have a lot of parameters. The biggest, they say, the number of parameters, usually the more accurate that you have. But you need also a lot of data for training, right? So at the end, this is the typical structure of LLM. The LLM has an LLM agent. It has an interface instruction. I also have a lot of tools, other connections in between, right? This is very typical. And it's two of the things that I want to mention specifically. That is one, the fine-tuning, and another, the agents. The fine-tuning is, of course, you have those parameters that you train, but sometimes you always need a lot of data, but sometimes the data where they are trained are not the good ones that you want. So you have another set of data that are more specific for your results. So you train again. I mean, you have those parameters, you train one time, you have one result, but you train again with less data, and you have this fine-tuning. This fine-tuning means that your result will be much more accurate in something that is related to those data that you have trained. For example, if you are working for data for a lawyer company, and you put all the data about all the different, right? I mean, all the, how you name it in English? You said, yeah, that you have all the laws on everything that is related with the law. All the result would be much more accurate in this aspect, but not perhaps other, but this one is very accurate. So, and they have another one that is the agent. The agent, sometimes you need data from other sites because they have not been trained or they have not the information inside. So for example, if I want to resolve a differential equation, the LLM doesn't think. It only gives you the probability of have one, let's say, token or whatever, a probability, but it doesn't think at all. It doesn't have anything related really of what we name to think. So if you want to solve an equation, it's completely unable to do it. So you can connect to Wolfram, for example, that they solve, you have Mathematica, that they solve the equation, it gives you the equation back, and you put it with the LLM, and it gives you the result very nice, and explain it if you want, right? Those are the agents. I mean, that kind of help that they have all around, right? So this is the LLM tree that divided on what we name the encoder, decoder, and the encoder-decoder, right? You have different kind of, depending if you want a translation, depending if you want to process pictures, depending if you want to process any kind of data, it's better to have an encoder, decoder. This is very technical because everything happened for science. There was a paper in 1917 that named Attention is All You Need, made by the guys of Google, and they start to make what is an encoder, decoder, and this is very specific. But what I want to say is that it's a lot of different LLMs from big companies that they need a lot of money because they have to train all those models with billions of parameters and data. So it's very, very, very heavy, but once you have all those parameters, it's very easy it's like a function that you put an input and give you the output in milliseconds. But what is very, very, let's say, heavy is this part of training. So, but here on the left, you have all the models that been out. This is only until before summer. I know they have much more models. So imagine that you could have any single LLM that you want. Any single LLM that you want, because I have many problems and I want an LLM, it's generative AI. It means that it doesn't think, but it gives you probabilistically one result that most of the time is very good. But you can have any kind of LLM that you want. For example, I need to have, in my company, I want to have pictures of cats, and depending on the pictures that they take, tell me what kind of cat it is. Or another company is working with model of economic model. I want to read any kind of documents and give me, I have a kind of chat with the document and ask questions and remember questions. Any kind, okay. Imagine that you could have this. Say, no, this is impossible because the general LLM, like ChatGPT, give you answers in a general point of view, but it's much better to specifically have your own LLM also because imagine that you could have in your on-premise, or you could put it on another server, the server that you want. Imagine have all of these. You say, no, this is impossible because it's very, very expensive. I know there's big companies have all those LLMs, and they spend a lot of money. Yeah, but most of them are free. And most of them, you only have to know how to use it. I say, but this is very difficult to use it. No. And there is Having Hayes who comes and say, hey, stop. you can do it. You can do it in minutes. Okay, what is? Hugging Face has 3 parts. I mean, that has much more, but I am divided really on what is important. Has the first one that is the data set. For the training, you need a data set. And most of the time, this is very difficult to have a specific data set. So you can have plenty of data set with pictures that are target, with voice, with any kind of thing. You have tons of different data sets. So even if you are not using the models that are in Hugging Face, you can use the data set for your models. So it's fine, it's very cool. After you have the models, we'll see nowadays, I think there is 1,100,000 models that you can use it. All of them, they're free to use. I mean, it's incredible. And you have spaces. Okay, you could say, yeah, but it's difficult. I have to know how to put it on a server, how to put in place, the API, how to access. No, because they give you the spaces so you can put it on a machine. You say what kind of machine, and in exactly 1 minute, 2 minutes is working. They give you the API, you connect, and you can use it. And I will show you how to do it. It's extremely fast and easy. So those are the Hugging Face, let's say, features, important features. And let's go and see. I want to show you in real time really how it is, because here we cannot. Let me show. Look, this is Hugging Face. This is Hugging Face. You have 1,132,000,000 is divided on multimodal. Multimodal is the one that you mix between pictures and voice and whatever. When you mix different models, but as you say, any kind of model is specifically trained for one thing. So you should not take one model for one thing if you are using for another thing. This is why. After you have, for example, multimodal, computer vision, NLP, and you have tabular audio and reinforcement and others. And in between, you have sub-difference of anything. Here, you only have to ask what kind of model. For example, in my case, I say, okay, I'm gonna show you how to use it with a sentiment analysis. So if you go there and you say, hey, I want to show sentiment analysis, there is only 1,300. So how you use it now? Okay, this is, that they have the text classification. That, for example, here, have the herd, and there's many people, this is like the social network. They say what are good, what are not good, why they prefer one, they don't prefer one. So, of course, it takes time you to trust if it's better this model than this other. But it's good to know that there are some people that they try before and they love it, and the comments of the people, this is exactly the same when you go to Amazon and you want to buy anything for your wife. In my case, for my wife. I go and I trust the people, what they say. In this case, I use exactly the same. No, and after a while, you will say what is the one that I choose and how to put it in production. Okay. So this is Hugging Face. And the spaces. And okay, there's this part that I'm going to show you. In the spaces is the one where you can put on production your model. You can put on production without having any server. I mean, they put the server. You can choose if you want to connect to Azure, you want to connect to Amazon Web Service. If they have your accounts, you can connect directly. If you don't have, they put in place the machine that you want. You select the machine, and they can give you, the time, and you can run it. And they, of course, it costs you, but the cost is not really very expensive, right? And really, this is the difference between Hugging Face and, for example, OpenAI. When I say OpenAI, it can be a Perplexity or can be another one, no? As in OpenAI, you have the models that you can choose. Of course, you have the OpenAI models, and here you have thousands of models that you can. OpenAI, you have the APIs, and here you have also a library when they have tons on API. They give you already the API done. You don't have to code anything, and they even help you. It's very, very easy, as I will show you. And at the end, you have the functionality of GPT, and you have the application that you are building in your site, right? So how we do it? The first, of course, create a Hugging Face account. This is easy. Everybody knows how to do it. Adding billing information. That's easy. Create a space for you to host your notebook. You can create a space, and of course, I will show you the difference. I mean, let's see. Here, there is the models. You have also the data sets. All those data sets is the same. I want a data set for 3D, for geospatial, for audio, for tabular, whatever. And you can choose between the size, JSON, CVS. You can choose the data set. It's very good. Most of the time, in our case, when we have our own model, we go there to have the data set for training. I mean, and what is good is that when they have a model that is trained, not always, but most of the time, they give you also the data set. So you can see what is the data set with they are being trained with. So something that usually, of course, OpenAI that never will give you the data set, neither other big ones. But for specific models, I mean, the fine-tuning of the data set, you can have it. And also here, you can make a fine-tuning with those models if you want. Okay, and you have spaces. Spaces is the place where the people takes one of those LLM and they put in running and they train by their own and they have specific results, but they share with the community. So you can go there and say, for example, here is the space of the week and Queen Coder artifact, I don't know what it is, but most of them, I mean, for example, the other day I was looking at someone that said, okay, for movies, I want a selection movies depending on the people. And they gave the training model already with movies, with titles, with whatever, it's already done. And you can go and see if you like it. This one is Netflix recommendation that is running. So you can go there and have the model and ask them question and see if the result is good. And if you like it, you take the model for your own and you put in production. I mean, there are spaces with someone put in production and they share with the community, something that is very cool. And of course, you have posts and documents and is the price. And the pricing is something usually that is around 0.002 cents per hour, something that is not very, I've been running the machine for 2 days and it's something like $2, $3, something like this. Perhaps at the end of the month, if you run the whole day, you don't stop it, the machine, it can take, I don't know, $20, $15. It's nothing expensive, really. I mean, at least it's affordable. It's not something that 100 or 1,000 euros, right? So at the end, what you have to do is take the model that you want. The one that I choose, in my case, for sentiment analysis was this one. And with this model, they have all of these, let's say, sub-model that they use the same one, but they're only fine-tuned. So I choose the first one because they got me 148 hertz. They say, oh, this should not be too bad. And here you have all the information about the model. They say, okay, you can go to the GitHub, the repository of the Python code for the model, and you have the license. Some of them, they tell you you can use it for your own. Others you can use also for commercial use, depending on what they say. They give you also the computer, the view of the computer, and they say you can have here, you can test it, let's say. And here is the part where they say you can deploy. And you can deploy directly by, no, what happened? No. Okay, yeah, it's here. You can deploy by inference API, inference endpoint, Amazon, Azure, Google, other space. It means that you can choose where to deploy. And I mean, in my case, I use inference endpoint because why? Because I don't want to code the endpoints. Other case, if I make inference API, it gives me the area and I have to code the API. But this is very easy to say inference endpoint, and I go directly to my inference endpoint. You go there, and look, it gives you directly the endpoint. The configuration, it gives you, you can test, and you can show you the API directly. Said, here is the code of the API. You will see, I only have to copy and put on FileMaker. And it's as easy like this one. You can test. For example, this is sentiment analysis, so I can put it here. let me see, I have kind of some sentence. For example, for this, I ask ChatGPT, give me some sentence for trying my demo. Compute. And it say negative by 0.998. Okay, this is the bad. I mean, this is sentiment analysis, right? Say this is a negative. Yeah, you can choose the top key and the functions, different functions if you want. And at the end, here you have the instance that is a CPU Sapphire. Here you can see the cost. For example, here has been running for 4,500 minutes. It costs $2. They say it's not very expensive. You have also the logs. If you want to check the logs, you have all the settings. The settings give you the instant type. This is Intel Sapphire Rapid. This is security level, and put it on public. You can put your own, how you name the, give the key. No, I don't remember. You have the text certification, the model revision, and if you want the auto scaling, whatever. How to connect to this, because I only need 9 minutes more. If you can see here, you go, and this is extremely easy application. The application that I made is a single table with result number, and text, 3 fields. And I have a script that is as easy as this one. Oh. Let me check. Okay. We have a variable text, set variable, and I put the endpoint that you can see is exactly the endpoint that give me here. I only have to copy and paste, and the options. The options, as you can see, are exactly the same options that you have here in the API. Exactly the same, copy and paste. And once you have here, insert from URL and the result. That's all. So I put it there, and I say, for example, the same 10 sentences than before to run, and I give negative 0.9. Here I have other sentence. For example, my daughter just accepted to the college. This is a good one. A bit. Run. And hopefully positive. Yeah. I mean, the idea is not to show you that this LLM, that I choose is giving the good answers or the bad answers, because it's up to you really to choose the one. What I want to say is that you can see how easy it is. Go to a list, choose the one that you want, try it, because you can try it for free. You can go there, you can go to Hugging Face, and all of those guys, you can try for free here. You can compute, you can have a trial, say, okay, this is good, I try, let me see the database, and directly put it on an API and connect to your system and having the results. If you like it and you think that it's good, you put on production, you download the system, you download the code in Python and whatever. You can train again, you can do whatever you want. But for me, in 27 minutes, no, 23 minutes, I already have done. It's the only thing that I can show. But of course, if you know how to do it, you download your model, you put on production. And that's so easy. And it gives you so many functionalities to the touch of your hands. For me, it's incredible, because if you start working with it and playing, you can spend days, months with different models, and it's like having a new, toy that you play. Every time that you, let's go to Hugging Face, I tried this one, this other, I'll put this picture and tell me what. No, it's amazing, because as you can see, it's easy. It's easy, it helps you, whatever. And in case of you have a problem, of course, you can use OpenAI to help you to code. If you don't know how to code the Python, if you want to put, it can help you anyway. So I have 5 minutes for questions. Thank you very much. It was fast and easy. Yep. Yes, Vince?
Thank you. How do you fine-tune it? Let's say you find this.
No.
and you want
the
to fine-tune.
Yeah, if you want fine-tune them, there is, let me say, there is in the models, there are some of them that you can, in our case, what we do is we download the model, we download the data, and we fine-tune by our own, because you have to recalculate all those parameters. This is the fine-tune. You have to take they give you the Python, but if I remember well, there was a data set, license, there's a space where you can fine-tune it. Let me check where it is. Yeah, the fine-tune, it's not that they fine-tune, you can paying, the model, you can have the model and tell, okay, I want to recalculate the parameters. And they give you your model, fine-tune, you put the data, the new data, you say, okay, recalculate with this own data. Depends of the model, but they do for you. And you can also try to put, if you want, they are putting some kind of rack on top in order to, I have a database, I want to ask to this database. They're building a lot of stuff on this ecosystem, because really is a new place where the people are playing with LLMs very easily. They try, every single month, they add a new functionality. It's incredible. If I stay for, on holidays, stay 1 month off on vacation with my family. When I came back, it was 30% new. You cannot stay one week away, because, yeah. I have to tell to my wife this.
Can you see what's in the data set that has been trained on?
It depends of the models. Are the models that they give you the data set, or the models doesn't give you the data set? Depend on the model. You can have models that it doesn't give you the data set, others they give you the data set. This is why when you choose the model, let me check, for example, choose this one. And there's introduction, quick links, feedback, intended case, example demo, benchmark, how to use the device, install, model architecture, training, okay, training. We developed automation testing pipeline, supervised fine-tuning, to enhance the model context to tell you how much data follow this code. Let me see if they have. So for some of them, files and versions, here they have, some of them, in this case, I don't think so, but in some of them, they put you in my case, most of the time when they have, for example, pictures, I want to see what are the pictures they train for. So they give you the data set of the pictures, so you can see if they are on black and white or any kind of pictures, and if there are specific pictures, and we can check. But they have, not always, but they give you the data set some of the times.
And if it's text, then you can see what
the text the same. They give you the text, they see you on JSON or on CVS, all the text that were trained. So, new tool, new goodie for you guys. Thank you very much.